The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello, this is Saturday's News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, landslide claims 21 lives, constant blackouts damage genset, and Tigers win Melanesian Cup. It's been revealed that all 21 people except one who died in the landslide in Kukas village in Wapenamanda were from the Yabalikin tribe in the Lower Lai constituency and were in Kukas for just a night when they met their fate. All bodies, including 2 children and a pregnant mother, were transported to the funeral home in Mount Hagen.
With search and rescue efforts called off at Kukas village in Wapenamanda where the landslide occurred, the death toll remains at 21 and all bodies transported to the Paradise Funeral Home in Mount Hagen. According to Joshua Mangalio from the Provincial Disaster Team, the deceased were in Kukas for a funeral on the 30th of October and were due to return home on the same day. But with the eruption of fresh violence in Mambisanda where the health center was touched, the road was blocked and the group couldn't return home as the violence was along their path of travel. They were then hosted by a pastor in a house there when the landslip hit them in the early hours of Friday morning. About 27 people were accommodated in that house on that fateful night, with another 17 accommodated in the pastor's house. Those 17, the 5 survivors and the pastor have all been traumatized and are receiving help from the Enga provincial government. From reports, 21 casualties were reported. Of these, 1 pregnant female, 2 children under the age of 10 and 18 males, all adults. The APG disaster team has responded with relief supplies and people in the village living along the disaster site have been advised to move to higher grounds due to continuous rainfall in the area. Police and defense personnel continue to patrol the area. Meantime, the relatives of the deceased have agreed to leave the bodies with the APG disaster team. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Constant power outages damage electric goods, especially the power surges that occur when electricity is restored. This was the case with the standby generator at the Angao Memorial Provincial Hospital. Chief Executive Officer of the Morobe Provincial Health Authority, Dr. Kipas Binga, explained that a sensitive component of the genset was fried due to the constant blackouts.
The Angao Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lae, Morobe Province, has come under scrutiny after the death of 5 patients on October 19, 2025, when the city experienced another blackout and the standby generator failed to kick in. Chief Executive Officer of the Morobe Provincial Health Authority, Dr. Kipas Binga, outlined that it was a mechanical issue that has proven to be a major challenge for the hospital's operation due to the frequent blackouts that are being faced not only in Morobe but nationwide. He explained that Angao Hospital currently has 2 systems of power, PNG Power Limited as the main source of power and a standby generator known as the Central Energy Plant.
Unlike in the past, we used to have all the Angao, we used to have little generators that look after different sections. But as part of this redevelopment, the whole of the power, especially to the new buildings and most of Angao, has been channeled through what we call a central energy unit at the back, central energy plant. The power for the hospital, if it's on full load, it takes about 850 kilowatts KVA, sorry. That's the kind of load that we've got three big generators at the back. It's not just one generator. There are three big generators. One generator is about 1,000 kilowatt kVA. So you've got three, so you've got total of 3,000. If you like, kVAs that is available for the hospital. So the idea is to one to kick in anytime when the power goes off, one will kick in and it's synchronized. So when the one goes off, the other one comes on. Our main problem was basically because of the switch on, switch off, regular on and off from the PNG power, so that the breaker keep going, closing in and going out. Eventually, basically mechanical wear and tear.
Dr. Binga said because a component was fried, it did not detect the power outage that occurred around 10 p.m. on Saturday, October 18th, 2025. A technical team that was on site identified the issue with the breaker, and because it was a high voltage area, contractors had to be called in. Dr. Binga said work started on Sunday morning and took approximately 20 hours to resolve the issue.
What we are doing now is that we are running the whole hospital on generators now. The fuel is a big concern for us now, because the generators are chewing about 4,000 to 5,000 liters in 24 hours. And that's a lot of money for us, and we are struggling to find money to try and get the fuel to sustain the services while we sort out the issue with the breaker. The breaker, unfortunately, we cannot source it locally according to our technical team. It has to be sourced from outside. So that work has already happened. We are thankful to DFAT and other partners we've worked with to come on board to try and see how we can get the parts in.
Kamela Guare, TV1 News, Ley.
Governor for East Sepik, Alan Bird, expressed frustration that due to the Finance Department not honoring its commitment to fund budget approved for the province, many important projects and activities have not been carried out. This includes the funding of teachers' biannual leave fares. During the grievance debate in Parliament on Friday, Provincial Member for East Sepik, Alan Bird, asked the Minister for Finance and the government to explain the shortfall in the budget allocated to East Sepik Province, function grants for the provincial government and the grants for the department to do their work and activities.
The time government is announcing budget inside long flow also I call him all big number money lo name long all province tas all planti des la money em stap lo pepa tas all cash money mi blano saksi. For example, 2024 budget, ECP am supposed to receive him 57 million long function grant, na 10 million long infrastructure grant.
Bird said before the budget sitting, he brought this issue up on the floor of Parliament. Prime Minister gave his commitment that the government will retire all these unpaid grants because in 2024, East Sepik only received 23 million kina out of the 67 million kina that was in the budget. The outstanding of 44 million kina for 2024 has not been received. In the 2025 budget, when they made the announcement, these people were promised a 67 million kina to function well and 10 million kina for infrastructure grant, a total of 77 million kina in cash. As of today, ESPG has only received 15 million kina in function grants and 2 million kina for infrastructure grant. That is 17 million kina out of the 77 million kina budget allocated.
Suppose me had him last year and this year. Total of 104 million national government he put him no budget, na he no give him plan. Na me like sabe also. Ask him blow me also. Government he got some ting lo make him one kind of same. You play work him 100% payment long. Help him also Martin. This pla case lo me pla some province where you play been put him no budget, na you play no give him. Enough lo you play give him no next month.
Mr. Bird said from the functional grants, ESPG normally pays 3 million kina towards teachers' leave fares. They were not able to disperse this last year, which caused havoc when teachers threatened to go on strike if their fares were not paid. He feared that if they do not pay another 3 million kina again this year, Teachers in East Sepik may definitely go on strike. TV1 News continues after the break. Stay with us.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, BSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at BSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Toks, to our family, to the ones we love. BSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, P&G and Mia. Buying P&G made.
Tell him shorty come get it in. Come grind on me, walk me there. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that roof down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that roof down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi, Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi,
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever. Yes! From small dreams to big possibilities. The One-Took jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Welcome back. In a historic move, Buckingham Palace has confirmed that King Charles III has initiated a formal process to strip Prince Andrew of all royal titles, styles, and honors. The announcement marks a defining moment for the monarchy, signaling a strong stance on accountability and integrity within the royal family. A statement released from Buckingham Palace on Thursday, 30th October 2025, revealed that Prince Andrew will now be known simply as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The palace said His Majesty had begun the official process to remove Andrew's royal privileges following continued controversy surrounding his past conduct. As part of the decision, Andrew has also been served notice to vacate Royal Lodge Windsor, where he has lived under a favorable lease since 2003. He will move into private accommodation following the termination of his lease agreement. The palace described the move as necessary, despite Andrew's continued denial of all allegations against him. Prince Andrew's fall from grace has unfolded over several years. In 2019, he stepped back from public duties after a BBC interview on his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. By 2020, he lost his military titles and public funding amid growing criticism. In 2022, he settled a civil case filed by Virginia Giuffre without admitting liability. In 2025, renewed public pressure and internal royal discussions led to this final decision to formally strip him of all royal honors. In the same statement, their majesties expressed their thoughts and utmost sympathies for victims and survivors of abuse, reaffirming that their compassion will remain with them. The acknowledgement has been welcomed by advocacy groups as a powerful gesture of empathy and accountability. This unprecedented royal decision underscores the King's determination to uphold the monarchy's moral standards while drawing a clear line between personal conduct and royal privilege. Disgraced New South Wales MP Gareth Ward has been sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison for sexually assaulting 2 young men. It completes a fall from grace for the man once viewed as a rising star of the Liberal Party. A judge has condemned his crimes as deliberate, callous and predatory.
From Liberal minister to independent MP to convicted sex offender, Gareth Ward has been in prison for 3 months, and today he learned he'll stay there for years.
Overall, you are sentenced to an aggregate term of imprisonment for 5 years and 9 months, with a non-parole period of imprisonment for 3 years and 9 months.
A jury found him guilty of sexual intercourse without consent and 3 counts of indecent assault. Ward's offending was against a 24-year-old political staffer in 2015 and an 18-year-old man in 2013.
Sexual offending is regrettably prevalent in the community. The court needs to send a stern message to like-minded offenders that sexual offending such as this will be met with salutary penalties.
Ward still disputes the events, but the judge found the men's accounts were coherent and cogent, and she acknowledged the psychological harm they've endured.
And the consequences of that harm have reverberated throughout their lives for more than a decade.
She said Ward took advantage of their vulnerability and intoxication, and in the case of the older man, knew he was in pain.
The offender acted in a callous and predatory manner. The offender's moral culpability was high.
The 44-year-old tried to keep his job as the Kiama MP following the verdict, but quit shortly before a vote in Parliament to expel him. Gareth Ward's lawyers had attempted to argue that the loss of his political career could be taken into account as a form of extra punishment, but the judge found it had only a limited role to play because it was an inevitable consequence that he should have anticipated. Ward's lawyers had already flagged an intention to appeal against the conviction.
Do you think he'll appeal against the sentence too? No further comment.
With time already served, Ward will be eligible for parole in April 2029.
As Australia approaches another sweltering summer, questions on how one would cope with hours-long power blackouts every week in the midst of 40-plus temperatures and how one would keep their food safe, medicines stored and aircon going arise. That's the reality for thousands of First Nations households who get their power through a prepaid smart meter. The report finds they have an average of 59 disconnections a year when their credit runs out, often because they're elderly and on very low incomes and having to walk long distances to top up their power at the supermarket.
It's really sad. It's really sad. They find it hard to keep up the power. And there's people with chronic illness, such as Lino, have to have the power on to keep their body temperature cool. And then the power's off, they really angry. I see them angry, frustrated. And, some just lie there and see if they can look for a cool spot in the outside of the house until somebody, family or someone helps with the power.
And it show up at the balance, how much friendly credit you have used or you've got. There's $12.70 at the moment. Can I get $50 power for my house, please?
50 power?
Yep.
That's your receipt.
Thank you.
But it is affecting a lot of our people because in the hot, when that hot hits me, it makes me so weak that I just have to I can't do anything. I have to sit in the shade for so many hours. Or if not, I have to lie down and drink a lot of water. That's how hot it is. And that's how it's affecting a lot of us older people. I see them do their shopping and when the power runs out, I see them in a really big panic mode. You know why? Because that fridge is full of food. And if that power don't come on, all that food in that fridge will go to waste. And then they have to wait till next payday to fill it back up again. Yeah, so it's a little big struggle.
Migrant women can face unique challenges that make it harder for them to get jobs in Tasmania than locals or migrant men. A program in Hobart is providing mentoring and training to help these women overcome barriers to employment.
Two years ago, Arij Fatima migrated to Australia on a skilled migrant visa. But finding employment hasn't been easy.
I was fortunate enough to get a job last year, but it was a casual job, so still is a long way to go.
With a master's degree in science and a background in teaching and administration, she still faced barriers.
Wherever you go, they'll ask for experience, and I didn't have any experience from Australia. Obviously, I had to start from the scratch.
Evidence of your learning, your progress.
The Dream Again mentoring program was set up for women like Arij. It's a partnership between BHERS Foundation and TAFE, and it provides accredited training in 2 career pathways, sewing and retail cosmetics.
It helps reduce barriers between people who maybe don't have as many advantages when it comes to education, gaining practical skills and gaining entry into the workforce.
The program was created in response to reports of labour exploitation in the local migrant and refugee community.
So people being paid $5 an hour to make a sewing product. They're actually learning what it looks like to live in the Australian community and what should be fair wages.
Women from refugee backgrounds can face unique barriers to employment due to gender-based social expectations and rules in their home countries. Entering the Australian workforce, they might face challenges like lack of education, childcare responsibilities and language barriers. The program offers support tailored for women.
It's created something specifically for them to feel safe enough to give things a go, to build their confidence and to really celebrate their own successes.
I really feel confident. I really feel more empowered as a woman. I really feel that I can face the world.
With recent subsidy cuts for some TAFE courses, BHERS Foundation are exploring how the program will be delivered next year.
You're watching TV1 News. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSP's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSP's One Talk Wallet. PSP's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
Long year 2024, 7 baby i born one time HIV. HIV ikan go long baby long triple rot. Time mama ikat HIV, long time long karim baby, na time baby isusu. Tasol yumi can help him bell mama, long lookout him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bell mama clinic, na kisim antenatal check. Time yumi pan him sick HIV area, o time bell mama i positive penis, early treatment i can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV eagle long baby. This lutok sawa ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Meet UmiPay, your digital wallet from TISA Bank. Your gateway to seamless transactions. Withdraw cash anytime at your nearest TISA agent. Send money to family and friends.
Hello, son.
Anytime, anywhere. Top up and pay with just a scan. From taxis to coffee and small businesses, UmiPay makes every payment simple. UmiPay, powered by TISA Bank.
We've been traveling along this road together for over 50 years. Ella Motors acknowledges the visionaries and hard work that have been the driving strength to continued nation building. We live, prosper, sustainably grow with the community whilst developing quality mobility chains aspiring to be your first choice on every occasion. Ella Motors, celebrating with Papua New Guinea throughout our independence golden jubilee.
Welcome back. Digicel ExxonMobil Cup champions Landslide Tigers defeated Fiji's Vusu Raiders 56-0 in the 2025 Melanesian Cup Challenge today at the Santos National Football Stadium.
The Landslide Tigers stunned the visiting Vusu Raiders 34-0 at halftime before finishing the game strongly with a resounding victory. Tigers 5'8" Joel Gunner starred in the game, scoring 3 tries and set up a couple others. He was later named Player of the Match. Following their victory, Tigers coach Noel Jamin said, after their grand final victory over PRK Mandi Muruks in September, his players left to be with their families. But when he called them for this game, they turned up for training. And even more, they still have that form that won them the national competition. The Tigers coach praised his boys for another Melanesian Cup victory against their name. He said the Tigers have done it before and it is good to get another cup at home soil. Coach for Vusu Raiders, Isoa Batibasaga, following his side's devastating defeat, highlighted that Tigers proved their rugby league standard and his side will only learn from this experience and improve. Rex Lita, TVWAN Sports.
After making 41 appearances and scoring 13 tries across 2 seasons with the Warrington Wolves Rugby League club, Roderick Tai has been released. The English Super League club, Warrington Wolves, revealed yesterday that Tai's contract was not renewed.
Roderick Tai made his Warrington Wolves debut in the Challenge Cup against London Broncos at the Halliwell Stadium in Warrington in 2024. The PNG international did not disappoint in his first outing. He scored a first try in the match to cap a promising all-round display in their 42-0 victory. Following his impressive debut performance, Wolves coach Sam Badgers showed faith in Tai and handed him a dozen more games. He played on throughout the 2024 season, where they went on to make the finals. Off the back of an impressive debut season, Tai was extended a 1-year deal with the club for 2025. A welcoming news for the former PNG Hunters and Kumuls representative. However, things took a downward spiral for the young centre, and eventually he fell out of favour with his coach, who had other plans with young talent Aaron Lindop. Lindop won the race for the centre and featured in most of the games this season. This forced Tai to look elsewhere for the game time. In February, he signed a dual loan contract with Widdes Vikings on a 2-week deal. He featured for the Vikings on 2 occasions before returning to the Wolves to finish the remainder of his contract. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
PNG Kumuls retains Pacific Bowl Championships title after defeating struggling Fiji Bati 50 points to 18 at Port Moresby's Santos National Football Stadium today. The Kumuls led 30 points to 6 at halftime before finishing the game on the high note in the second half. Kumuls debutants Dudley Dotoy, Cooper and Robert Matthias all scored their first tries in the Kumuls colours, while Edwin Ipape, Reese Martin, Nene MacDonald and Jack DeBellin showed what impact experience can have on the team's overall performance. And that's all we have for sports. Now for the weather forecast. Southern regions, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding for Western Gulf, Central and Milne Bay Province. For Mase, New Guinea Islands and Highlands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding for the region. And that ends the news tonight. Pleasant viewing. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by